Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for XRP link and ADA price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. We're going to start with XRP here on the all-time history. We're going to see, of course, what XRP is looking for and what we might expect next. So we have an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 1 or a wave A. ABC followed here as a correction, and of course a longer sideways correction has been followed for a W, X, and a Y, where we see, of course, the wave Y as a triangle finishing over there and starting an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially to finish wave 1 here, and then of course looking for a wave 2 and then continuation toward the upside. What I'm expecting here, of course, is a very likely an A, B, and a C, especially after this sideways long range. I'm expecting that this wave A repeat itself exactly over there as a wave C and hitting the 1-to-1 fib level for XRP around the $154. So yeah, this is going to be, of course, very massive for XRP in case that this is going to happen and repeat, of course, itself here and having a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 1-to-1 fib level on the logarithmic chart. If we dive inside it here on the daily, of course, we can see clearly that we have already our scenario here as a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 finish toward the upside. Now, it can be that this was your triangle there and a wave 5 unfolding for a wave 1 to be finished, and we're looking currently for a wave 2 also to be finished over there. Now, after the wick that it has hit perfectly the fib level for wave 2, I doubt that the price is going down to take it again, but I believe that this structure has to finish somehow the time required for wave 2. By all means, on the 4 hours chart here, we are very close, of course, to finish this structure in balance here as ABC, of course, where we have a leading diagonal wave A, wave B, and the wave C is unfolding here as a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, of course, and the wave 5 is still, of course, looking for lower. Now, in case that you are here in this zigzag as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, the wave 4 might still reach a little bit higher, and of course open for this diagonal to have a little bit higher prices for a wave 4, and then of course dropping for a wave 5 later on to reach the blue box as expected and finishing anyway a wave C or a wave Y. By all means, if you are in a W, an X, and the wave Y here, it has to be, of course, therefore an A, B, and a C. Your wave C is starting from there as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Same diagonal, I would say, is unfolding even for a wave Y, but it might take a little bit more time. This is the difference. So the wave C here can, of course, finish with one more drop, one more low for XRP, and then pushing for higher. But don't forget that on the micro level, we might get this push for higher prices for wave 4 and then wave 5, and then, of course, starting something new and fresh toward the upside. Preferably, for me, it is preferable to take the 0.38, of course, which is the minimum requirement for a wave 2 here. The wave 2 is a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 for a wave 1, and the wave 2 would like to take this blue box minimum target, and then, of course, pushing for higher. Yep, so these are the expectations for XRP. If we move for the next one, which is Link, and we're gonna start also on the all-time history here for Link, where we are looking at this sideways after the impulse over there. We got, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Wave A or wave 1, followed by a complex structure here, corrective W, X, Y, X, and a Z. And of course, if you're starting something to push for higher impulsively here, or it can be, of course, a zigzag as well, very likely that it can be an ABC. Your wave C can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So I prefer to put this also count there. Very likely to be the case scenario here. And of course, in that case, we are looking right now for a potential wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This can be, of course, a leading diagonal over there for Link, and we're looking here potentially for a wave 1. Now, the wave 5 is truncated. Yes, that is true. It happens many times, often, especially in Link, that we see truncation in wave 5 in diagonals, where we see 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and then wave 2 is unfolding currently in a very complex structure. Now, a different scenario as well. It can be, of course, a very long triangle, A, B, C, D, and a E. But be careful, this triangle might be extending, meaning this can transform to a wave C, and then, of course, wave D later on, and then wave E after it. And so it can be an extension for this triangle. I doubt that this short move here is your finished wave C and then wave D and then wave E. I feel like, of course, this can be all of it, your wave C unfolding later on in case this happens, guys. So, yep, this is regarding link on the all-time history. Now, both case scenarios, of course, are looking for something for higher. Now, if we finished a wave E there, we're looking for higher. But if we are extending a wave C, we might take one more low and then looking for higher. Yeah. And of course, if we are in a leading diagonal wave 1, wave 2, also we're looking for higher. Now, this wave 2, of course, we need to dive inside it to check, of course, what's going on the 4 hours chart here. Now, as you can see on the 4 hour chart, this drop down can have two phases. So it can be double 1, 2. It can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for a wave 3 here, 4 and a 5, 4 and a 5. Meaning one more 5 is up unfolding there. However, if we take a look at this structure here, everything is overlapping over there. So it's hard to call it a little bit here as a wave 5 unless it is unfolding as something as an ending diagonal, but also very, very doubtful. Well, the ending diagonal here has to be a zigzag with double diagonals, which is very rare case also as a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Yeah, but very rare case. But in case that this happening, it can be, of course, what I'm expecting here is higher possibility that we are in a bigger correction a little bit, at least at the 1-to-1 fib level, meaning here wave 4 might still be unfolding for something for higher at 1-to-1 fib level, $15.3, and then pushing for a wave 5 later on to reach our testing area here. What is the testing area? Well, the testing area is the perfect fib level for wave 2, meaning after this diagonal, you might be in a wave 2 there. And we're going to test it, of course, as the second phase of this correction as an A, B, and a C here. Your wave C is unfolding as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, meaning one more drop, of course, for wave 5 can be very, very likely, meaning the wave C can unfold over there. In any case scenario, that means in both case scenarios, we're looking still for one more drop. And in case we are very impulsive here and we're looking for one more drop, but that means, of course, we might continue the drop later on for lower prices. Right, so that means, of course, we might break this and we might, of course, move for a wave C in a major correction here on the all-time history, meaning, of course, a huge A, B, and a C. Okay, 1-to-1, $2.9 that it can be hit for link in this case. Yep, so these are the possibility for links from the macro to the micro level. If we move for the next one, which is ADA, for ADA, we're looking here on the all-time history as well. So for the all-time history, we have, of course, already a potential leading diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 unfinished, right? So we cannot really call it. Therefore, I'm tending to be much more here. In an ABC finished wave A, you're looking, of course, at a correction here. And it can be a very deeper correction, ABC already. So we're very close to take this low anyway, even within the wick. So if we take this low, we might unfold here a wave C. Don't forget the timing is required in this case for an ABC to reach this blue box 0.618 fib time at least. Now, of course, in this case, you are looking here two different scenarios. Whether we are looking for 3 waves, meaning, of course, W, X, and Y, or you're looking for 5 waves, meaning can be, of course, an ending diagonal, or it can be even an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, something very, very bearish, right? So in this case, we gotta be careful with it. In case that the things are going to be W, X, and Y in 3 ways, well, I think that the low can be taken here, very likely, and then we push for higher later on. So yeah, for ADA, I see already kind of like one more low has to be taken, and if we dive inside it here, we can see the count for this final move there. After, of course, this diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for a wave 1 or a wave A, you can be in a wave 2 or a wave B there. And that means, of course, a wave 3 is unfolding. Now, it can be a huge diagonal, don't forget. It can be a huge diagonal, meaning a wave 1 can be over there, and then 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5, meaning this signal of the diagonal that you see in between the lines, like a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Or it can be, of course, an ABC, which is very likely to be the wave C unfolding here in double 1, 2, honestly. I see this much higher possibility, double 1, 2, and then wave 3 given, wave 4, and the wave 5 is still, of course, unfolding there as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here. So one more low, and this is, of course, impulsive, and it looks, of course, that it might reach even lower and lower here. So by all means, if ADA will seek for lower, well, I'm looking definitely here for the macro level target. Okay, the macro level target can be, of course, taken from the A here to the B and to the C. So yeah, you have to expect, of course, this scenario to happen, guys. Okay, you have to expect it as a 1-to-1 fib level, 0. or 10 cents. Yeah, 10 cents simply for ADA here, and then pushing for higher later on, potentially finishing, of course, this correction and then looking for higher prices. Yep, so I would say the altcoins are looking weak a little bit, and of course they are still looking for lower prices, but we're very, very close to finish this correction anyway. Yeah, so in the macro level as well, but also we still need, of course, some patience here for the micro level to be done and finished and start to seek some strengths to push for higher. That was it for ADA, Link, and XRP. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.